You are listening to ProveText, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture with Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb and Dr. Frederick J. Long. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to ProveText. I'm Michael Halcomb, and in this episode of Three Things, I want to share with you three things that I'm thinking about. Actually, all three of these things have to do with running a podcast, and for me, I consider them podcast essentials. So if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, or maybe you just wonder like how podcasts work, like what's going on behind the scenes, well, I'm going to share with you three tools that I use and I don't feel like I could live without as a podcaster. The first one of these is called Canva, and Canva is incredible because it essentially takes something like Photoshop, which can be really intricate, and makes it way easier. There's all sorts of apps integrated, and there's different tiers of pricing that you can pay, but essentially it allows you to develop thumbnails and artwork for your episodes. It allows you to develop things like logos very, very easily. And so I would highly commend Canva to you. You can also use it to create like YouTube thumbnails, Instagram thumbnails, Twitter thumbnails, Facebook thumbnails, all at the sizes that those different platforms require, right? So it's very, very cool, very fast, very easy, not a big learning curve at all. I would highly commend Canva to you. And by the way, if you run an NGO, a nonprofit, there's a good chance that you could possibly get Canva for free. So highly, highly recommend that to you. The next thing is, it used to be called Anchor.fm. It's what we host our podcast on, the ProveText podcast, but it recently, just within the last week of recording this, really just the last few days of recording this, it has changed to Spotify for podcasters. And like I said, the host is free. We have hundreds of episodes for free. We're not having to store those anywhere except on here, and then they get distributed out to many other different podcast apps and things like that. So would highly commend Canva to you, Spotify for podcasters for you. And there's all kinds of things. You can see your analytics, you can see what devices people are using, how many episodes how many times an episode has been downloaded or played, where people are listening from, like what country they're in, and so on and so forth. There are other tips on here that the platform will give you for things like SEO and how to grow your podcast audience. So Anchor.fm, you don't got to pay anything. You can also opt in or opt out of paid ads on here. So that's something else to consider when you're looking at a podcast host. Originally, we had gone with something like Buzzsprout, but we were paying early on, and we found out this was free, so we switched over. That's a great platform. Anchor.fm was what it was formerly called, but now Spotify for podcasters. So we got Canva, Spotify for podcasters. It's a little hard to say. And then the last one is called Buffer. And this is what we use, so we don't have to go do individual posts on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We can use Buffer to schedule ahead and plan. So I have a screenshot of what that looks like here from a month ago, February 2023, and you can see all the things that we had scheduled during those days. This is awesome. And if you have a teammate to work with on this, it makes it really easy. You can look at it from week standpoints, or you can look at it from an entire month standpoint. YouTube's getting ready to be integrated into this, and so you'll be able to auto post to YouTube. So just some incredible stuff on here. You got analytics, you got engagement, you can create a start page, and all types of different platforms that you can integrate. So this is called Buffer, Buffer, and it is a great platform, and we are glad to be using it. So the three things again: Canva, Spotify for podcasters, and Buffer. All right, y'all. I hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glosahouse.com today. Glosa House, language resources for the global community.